This is a guide on reinstalling the front assembly on the Apple iPhone 4S. For the installation process, we will need the following tools: SIM card removal tool, Pentilobe screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, and a flathead screwdriver. Turn off the phone by holding the power button and confirming the shutdown on screen. Using Apple-approved SIM removal tool, pop the SIM card out and set it aside. Then, using a Pentilobe screwdriver, remove the two bottom screws on each side of the docking connector. Set the screws aside. Gently slide the back cover up and pull it away from the top edge. In order to remove the front assembly, most major components will have to come out. We highly recommend that you use a map of screws and components, which you can download from our website. Lay your screws on the map as you go along. Here, we just remove the battery connector screws. Once you are ready to proceed with disassembly, disconnect the battery by picking the connector open. Watch out for the grounding piece mounted to the battery connector. It will pop out as soon as the battery connector is lifted. You will need to keep it and put it back in place when reassembling the device. Caution: the battery is glued in place very well. Please be careful when removing it. We recommend using a wide tool to pry out the battery from its place. Put the battery aside. Proceed on removing two screws holding the middle EM shield in place. Remove the shield. Remove 5 screws holding the top EM shield. Place each screw on its specific position on the screw map, as most of them are unique and it's important to keep track of their position. Remove the EM shield. Put the shield aside. Disconnect the middle connector and gently pull the ribbon cable away from the logic board. Disconnect Wi-Fi antenna connector. Remove the 2 speaker box screws. Gently remove the speaker box, minding the tiny triangular plastic spreader. Set it aside. Remove the rear-facing camera by gently picking the camera's connector off the logic board. Then pick open another 5 connectors from the logic board. Remove another grounding piece which is covering the cellular antenna connector. Proceed on removing the logic board screws. The bottom right corner and the top right corner screws have to be removed with the flat screwdriver. Then, using your Phillips screwdriver, remove the bottom left screw near the vibrating motor. Next, remove the right mid-level logic board screw with a Phillips screwdriver. The top left screw is usually covered with an insulator. Gently pry open the insulating tape and remove the screw. At this point, the logic board can be removed. Start at the bottom and lift up. Gently rock the logic board side to side to make sure no connectors are getting caught. Set the logic board aside. Now we are able to remove the screws which are holding the screen in place. There are 4 small screws, 1 in each corner. The top left one is also covered with an insulator. You will need to expose it first. Go ahead and remove all the corner screws. Proceed on removing 6 side screws with washers. There are 3 screws on each side. In order to remove the last screw, the vibrating motor has to be removed. Gently pick it off by the mounting tab with a flat screwdriver. Put it aside. Remove the final screw. In order to remove the front assembly, we recommend using a plastic pick. Start from the bottom, and once sufficiently separated, the rest of the screen can be pried off by hand. Carefully thread the touchscreen and the display connectors through the frame and set the old screen aside. If your replacement front assembly doesn't come with a home button, You can transfer the original part onto the new part. The home button is mounted on an adhesive membrane. Use a knife to pick the corner of the membrane and gently separate it from the frame. Take the new screen and remove the back protective film. Replace the home button and press down around the edges of the membrane with your fingers to secure the home button in place. Thread the display and touchscreen connectors all the way through the frame, ensuring that both are completely in line with each other. Replace the 6 side screws with washers. Replace the 4 small screws, 1 in each corner. Replace the vibrating motor, then replace the logic board, ensuring that no connectors are getting caught underneath and that all the mounting holes are lining up properly. Secure the top right and the bottom right logic board screws with the flat screwdriver. Replace the top left screw, the mid-level right screw and the bottom left vibrating motor screw. Reconnect all 6 loose connectors back on the logic board. Replace the grounding piece over the cellular antenna. Fold the insulator over the top left logic board screw and replace the rear camera. Put the speaker box back in place and reposition the tiny triangular plastic spreader. Secure the speaker box with 2 screws. Reconnect the Wi-Fi antenna connector. Replace the top EM shield and secure its 5 location-specific screws. Reconnect the middle level connector and replace the middle EM shield. Then secure it with 2 screws. Reinstall the battery, making sure it is set properly in place and that the connector is aligned. Insert the grounding piece under the battery connector as it is held by the same screw. Replace the mounting screw while keeping the grounding piece properly aligned. Replace the final battery screw. Then replace the back cover by aligning it 1/8 of an inch at the top and sliding it back in position. Replace the 2 bottom pentalobe screws. At this point, you can test the device by pressing the power button at the top, and if the Apple logo appears, remove the protective film from the front of the screen. Shut down the phone. Replace the SIM card tray. And you're done.